On today's Minute of the Apes, Richard's sitting over there with stories that he can't wait to give to the in-between because he got an initiation in the worst of ways, but the best of ways about dealing with kids.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. What are you guys' names?
I'm go by Sean this time.
Use guys' names.
Richard.
Use guys.
Richard.
Richard.
I'm over here trying to be a tough guy, and he just gives me Richard. All right. We are up to minute 67 of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Sean, without further ado, tell us what's going on.
All right, we start minute 67. Brent saying, "I can't you understand that?" and ends with Brent kissing Nova.
And here comes minute 67 of Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Can't you understand that? I don't know anything.
You make us very sad, Mr. Brent.
She can't help you. She can't even talk. Don't harm her.
We never harm anyone, Mr. Brent. You're going to harm her.
All right, we got 3 living humans, a psychor telepath, 4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a shooting of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
I was totally going to lead with, on today's Minute of the Apes, I wish my husband would kiss me like he was being mind controlled by mutants like Brent does.
Okay. So to that point, should telepaths have emotions? Because I swear they're the most emotionless group of people that are about to be attacked by a horde of walking monkeys or talking monkeys.
Whenever the one telepath said, "You make us very sad, Mr. Brent," and then stares right down the barrel of the camera, I just went a little wink. Ding.
It was just, Brent is just like, can't you understand that I don't know anything? And I'm like, why? What do you want to protect about the apes versus these people?
Well,
I just
again,
don't understand.
Brent's only been at Albuquerque for like 2 days at the most.
Yeah. And
if anybody's going to know more about it, it's going to be Taylor, not Brent. I mean, if they can read his mind, they know he's barely there at all. He saw an argument. He went into somebody's house and then he left. That's as much stuff as he knows that's going on there.
He was paraded through the war games.
Oh yeah, and he saw the he was
paraded
caged
through the war
up,
games. I mean,
but he broke out from that.
So we established early in this film when we had the flashbacks of Taylor and Nova, you know, when he would say Taylor and she'd and see it. Why aren't we seeing flashes into his mind of the military training for an invasion? Why don't we get that same? You've introduced the idea that somehow we can tap into a memory, a visual memory. Why don't we see that? Because if you're going to read a mind, why am I not getting the little burst?
Wait, are they? They're not showing people's previous memories. They're showing shared memories, right?
I don't know.
That's the thing, because we saw a view that was them marching Brent down.
True.
That was from a perspective that nobody was there watching. So
we see Taylor somewhere, and either someone's watching them or they have good security cameras.
Yeah, didn't they? Yeah, because they showed them looking at the fire and all that stuff. They had visions of that.
They had
too.
vision. Yeah, they had visions of that too. And again, we don't know whose point of view that's from. Like
Right.
it looks like it's just projected.
It's
like they were
literally
just
the camera
there.
perspective. They
Yeah.
didn't even try to bother to make it look like it's from a different angle.
I mean, unless Brent has some amazing telepathic shields that the ANSA has installed in his head, they should technically be able to pull that out of his head.
Well,
Yeah.
unless he has the thick cranium of a monkey.
chimp.
Maybe.
So, does Nova not have the mental capacity to be scanned? Because now they could, to be
She
fair,
might not have
they
any-
could scan her off camera.
When they scan her, they might just get do 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 do.
So let me just mention this real quick because it wasn't necessarily clear by the audio. When Brent says, "Neither do I. Can't you understand that I don't know anything?" Nova is then brought into the room. That's why by two guards, and that's why there's a moment where Brent kisses Nova as willed by
The
telepaths.
The telepaths. I don't know if it was in the audio that you knew that Nova was suddenly in that room.
Well,
Yeah.
of course, Nova, ever stalwart. Last time she saw Brent, he was trying to drown her. Now she just runs right into his arms.
So it is so unfair to that point. Whatever direction was given to Miss Harrison,
I mean, she
She
should have been
is-
scared of him a little bit.
exactly. She has no reaction to him. Even whenever eventually in this scene when his face begins twitching as they begin controlling, she just sort of looks at him like, "Hi, hi."
Uh-huh.
Well, okay.
She doesn't even react at all. She should be like pulling back in terror.
So she the guards bring her in. She immediately runs into his arms. Caspe says, "You make us very sad, Mr. Brent." And then, I don't remember his name. he Brent says, "She can't help you. She can't even talk. Don't harm her." And then kind of Albina kind of jumps in and says, "We never harm anyone. You are going to harm her." And then Albina nods as if to Brent, but
Right.
it's to let the other gentleman know, the one who's delivering the pain, to then bring the pain. So just real quick.
We would never hurt her. We would just make you try to strangle her
Right,
and dip
exactly.
her head in the water and drown her.
So when I mentioned last minute about being pacifist, this whole concept is like, oh, we don't get our hands filthy,
Right.
but you will do terrible things.
because we make you do them.
Yeah.
I felt with Albina that was a bad cut, like they originally intended her to go, "Bzzz," but instead she gets a nod, which is the language you've had for mind control, but somebody takes over. I wish that person would have like put up a hand. Hang on, I got this one. Bzzz.
It doesn't. The script does not give her a moment to nod. The script basically says, and she's supposed to say it soothingly. We never harm anyone. You are going to harm her. And then Negro closes his eyes and delivers the pain. The Albina moment where she nods was not even there. Now she does. It is shown in the script that she's the one who directs the guards to release Nova, and we didn't see her necessarily do that.
No, they just kind of threw her in there.
They
By
just
the
kinda-
way-
they just kind of tossed her in.
Negro's name is Anjiro.
Andra. It's
Andra.
Negro spelled differently.
Yeah,
All the same
it basically is the exactly Negro with an O at the first and an A in place of the E. So they were real inventive when they decided
Well, they
to
gave
correct
his
their
name.
Then
horrendous
you
behavior.
get the old movie kiss where people just mash their faces against each other, just lips just crushing as hard as they can.
But I did think the cutting in this was really pretty cool of how it's, tights of hands and things like that. And it's very brutal.
You mean when he goes to kiss her? And
Yes.
It's just kind of suddenly up on her, and then like it's very tight in on that moment.
Everything is tight. We see hands, we see hair that's being pulled, and it's not in
In
an
a
exciting
sexy way.
sexual way. It's frightening.
Well,
But out of that, I think that even, I know we don't get too much of the reactions beyond that. I know a lot of that technically comes in the next minute, but
right.
even with this, it's once again weird directing choices not to have people react to the calamity that's in their moment. Even their eyes aren't, like fighting. They just sort of vapidly look at each other. Oh, and maybe mind control makes you not expressionless. Excuse me.
I mean, if we're dealing with this particular moment, just this minute, when she says, "We never harm anyone, you're going to harm her," I'm like, why are they kissing? What is he got, like a disease? What is he?
I
like,
know. Are they
is he getting a herpes?
Are
Like,
they
I don't-
saying that making out with Brenda's torture?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
But it was like a weird. You're going to harm her.
That is a weird choice.
And we're
I
going to
never
have
thought-
you kiss her. So it was very almost like not fan fiction. It was very much like
Slash fiction?
what's it called? Writers, not
Shipping?
writer's
What?
choice. what's it
Mary
called?
Sue, come on, give me
No. Yeah, what is it when the writer wants something to happen?
Telegraphing.
Not telegraphing. Willful.
a plot.
No.
Everybody that listens to this is
Deus Ex
screaming it out.
Machina?
Wishful.
Wish fulfillment.
Wish fulfillment. It was almost like it was the author's wish fulfillment to have them kiss.
Could be.
That's what I mean. Because she was nearly choked earlier, and now he's kissing her based upon the demands of these things. And it's almost like a wish fulfillment to put the two lead characters sexy together. Now, and again, just talking about this particular moment, it was just very much, okay, are they just going to do it? Like, what's about to happen now?
Well, I think even because I literally made the note prior to the kiss, I put that I really don't think Brent sees Nova sexually. He treats her more like a sweet little puppy.
Right.
Because he doesn't,
Right.
It's sort of like, oh, hi, and you sort of, there's no tension between them that there's an attraction.
Because he's only known her for 2 days.
Well, even with that, I mean, I've seen people before that I'm attracted to, but he's also I had this problem with Taylor.
Dummy is like she is, doesn't say a word and just.
She's a human being, Sean. I have this problem with Taylor back in the original one. I was like, shouldn't he be concerned about getting off the planet, yet he's falling in love with the space hoochie. And in this moment, I don't buy that there's any reason for them to be this way. They don't even need each other, technically. Neither one of them are giving each other anything that they need, and suddenly you thrust them into this and they kiss. It is the most passionless kiss I think I've ever seen in my life.
It's the movie.
And I think you can have passion even though they're being forced. I think if we shared their plight and that they cared about each other, there would be passion in that. And there's nothing.
If he had saved her from something big in the beginning instead of just riding horses, he'd never really taken care of her.
Right.
It's just
they've
gone in the same direction together.
He was doing Scanner's face right before he put his lips on her lip. So it wasn't like it was meant to be passionate. I mean, it was almost like it was.
That's how you describe it. Put his lips on her lips.
It was almost as if we were moving into assault.
I understand what you mean.
That's what it felt like it was supposed to be, but it was still just two characters kissing each other on the camera, being compelled to kiss. And I'm like, isn't that like the Purple Man from Jessica Jones? I mean, it's almost like this whole
Yet, I would say in the moment when Jessica Jones that there is passion between the two people because the characters have a relationship. They are something to each other. And that passion is not always, being passionate with someone doesn't always mean a romantic passion. You can be passionate in many different ways. And if that passion is stop and this isn't what I want, there's passion in that. There's nothing. When we cut to the shot of Brent's face beginning to twitch, like I said before, Nova is just looking at him blank. I know she is dumb. I know that they are not the greatest thinkers on the face of this Planet of the Apes. She should have some expression. There should be fear. If she is an animal, should she not fear when it looks like there's a predator?
She should be afraid. You get a situation where she was just choked outside, but she's still trying to find him. She finds him. She runs into his arms. And now he's coming at her with a kiss in front of a whole bunch of people. And it's just hard for me to believe because she seems very passive in this moment. I was expecting maybe at this initial a little more like, I don't know. I'm going to push you away. I do not know what's happening.
Right.
Now, again, not talking about the next minute, but just talking about this moment right here. I expected a little more fight.
I did too. It was literally like they've neutered every character that we had from the first. We talked about what they've done to Zaius, Cornelius, and Zira, and they've done the same. I think Nova had a little bit more to her before. I mean, she was willing to scratch out things on the dirt to cover.
Right, yeah.
She has nothing here. She's just she's docile, passive creature. Ugh.
I want to go back 1 second just so you guys can kind of laugh at this.
Okay.
There was a script direction at the very beginning when Brent says, "Can't you understand that I don't know anything at all?"
Yes, we can.
Tell me his name. Angelo laughs out loud in the ominous silence that follows. And then he projects an image of Nova on the wall, and then Nova's then brought in. I just love this idea that this character was supposed to give this kind of maniacal laugh. I know.
He's doing the 7-Up laugh.
after these characters were specifically, it was beneath them to communicate. Now
Right.
a laugh is
Maniacally
Once
laughing.
again, there it is. And, whether this is Dane or it's just that they didn't spend the time on it, there's no consistency to what you develop with the way they think, with what they need, with the way they behave. Because they are so above emotion, really. I found the irony when you make us sad. It is the least I am hurt statement I've ever heard.